Yeah, easy's like the true any percent, so, you know, we don't need legendary.
Yeah. So timing starts once I get out of this cryo tube and enter the Pillar of Autumn, the first level of the game.
I gave you a double dose of the wake-up stim. Take a quick
And so easy difficulty actually has a tutorial. It can't be skipped, sadly. It's gonna take like a minute and 40 seconds, but there's a couple things we can do to speed it up. The first thing I actually did before I even started to run, I'm currently playing on inverted mouse controls, so when I move my mouse up, I'm gonna look down, and that skips like 10 seconds of dialogue here. And I'm gonna change it back here. Takes like 3 seconds to change it, but it ends up saving way more time than actually starting with the normal controls, since the game forces you to try out inverted controls. But if you play on inverted, then it doesn't force you to try the normal controls. I don't know why.
Alright, shields read as fully charged.
Okay, sir. Bring them down to test the automatic recharge.
We get our shields here. And there's a small dialogue skip I'm gonna do here. By making this crewman up here, Sam, look at me, I'm going to skip like maybe 3 or 4 seconds of dialogue.
Captain, we'll have to skip the weapons
Just
diagnostic.
small things.
Aye, aye, sir. The skipper seems jumpy. We better get moving. We'll find you weapons later.
Okay, I'll leave the self-diagnostics running at least. Oh god, they're trying to get through the door!
Yeah, Sam's job is to die in the beginning of this game, and he can't even do that right sometimes, so...
Come on, we've got to get the
Yeah, it's actually pretty annoying because sometimes Sam can take like 8 seconds to die and just scream up there. And it's really annoying.
It's the worst.
Okay, so now we can actually move around in the Pillar of Autumn. So first off, we're going to go to the bridge, where we will get our first weapon, except we actually skipped the weapon, but there's a required cutscene there anyway. And this cutscene, I'm actually going to trigger it a bit early by entering this area and then immediately leaving.
Don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
So you're supposed to get a pistol here, but because we go so fast we actually don't get it, and we skip some enemies here as well.
Those Marines could use some help, Chief. Do what you do best.
But now the rest of the level is pretty boring, to be honest. There's not much to do, really. It's just walking through and trying to not get blocked by enemies.
Yeah, Pillar of Autumn is pretty tutorial heavy, so it's just a run through, I guess.
Yeah, on legendary or heroic and legendary difficulties you actually get grenades here, but on easy and normal you don't. So can't even use those. Also, if you're wondering why I was randomly firing my plasma pistol around, it's just to get my ammo count to a funny number.
Oh, nice. 69. Hey.
Okay, so coming up is, I guess, the first trick of the game. It's just a pretty hard jump.
On the landing above us.
Oh, nice. You go
Hey,
for stair jump.
nailed it.
Dude, nice.
So yeah, doing the jump there saves like a second or two, but it's fairly hard to do. And up here there's a pretty obscure skip that I will attempt. I will actually attempt a slightly easier version of it. See if it works.
Warning, blast doors closing. We have to use the ship's maintenance access.
Okay, it didn't work.
Follow the nav
But
guide.
there's some dialogue here that needs to
The
finish
life pods are launching. We should hurry.
before the game actually progresses, and you can try and manipulate the game into giving you a checkpoint during the dialogue, and then if you get a checkpoint at the exact right time, you can revert to that checkpoint and skip like 4 seconds of dialogue.
Activating motion tracker. Let's find a safe exit.
So that's why I moved and kind of hid behind the corner to try and force a checkpoint there.
Wait. We need to get through that door, but it's been damaged by an explosion. It looks like the Covenant wanted to catch you napping.
How's the delay for you, by the way, Rexy?
You're going down like a hallway right now, passing the cryo.
Okay. So probably like a little over 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'll just predict where you are.
Cool. So at the end of this level we do get nades, and there's actually like 10 frag grenades here. Just try and clear these last enemies with them as fast as possible. And we're
Chief?
into the second level
Chief,
of the
can
game.
you hear me? At last. Are you alright? Can you move? The others. The impact.
So this is
There's
Halo,
nothing we can do.
the second level of the game. The level is named Halo.
Warning.
Gets confusing
I've
sometimes
detected multiple Covenant
when the game's
dropships on
named
approach.
the same as the level.
I recommend
I'm
moving
gonna
into
do the
those
first
hills.
grenade jump in the
If we're
game
lucky,
here.
The Covenant will believe that everyone
at least
aboard this
attempt it.
lifeboat died in a crash.
This one is kind of finicky, but skips a good 5 to 10 seconds of walking and some enemy spawns, so it's definitely worth doing.
Dude, nice, you got it.
Yup, barely. Okay, so this upcoming area is actually one of the harder areas in the game to clear efficiently. There's a lot of enemies in this first area that I need to kill for the next dropships to spawn, and this area is basically a series of dropships that I need to clear.
Lifeboat beacon over the next hill. We should check to see if there are any survivors.
Okay, that was actually pretty slow. Right now I'm killing these marines because... not because I'm a bad person, but because it saves time. Okay, so by killing 5 of those marines, it skips a whole bunch of dialogue that delays these ships from coming down. I probably shouldn't have picked up a plasma pistol earlier. It's a strat that I started using a couple days ago, and I'm not sure if it works as well as I thought it would. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to use grenades to clear these ships as efficiently as possible. And there's a skip you can do here where if you clear these ships fast enough, you actually end up skipping one of these dropships. It's called drop skip and it saves like around 25 seconds.
Yeah, the Marines' dialogue is tied to this skip as well, so it's very crucial to kill the Marines because they'll delay the dropship landings by like a bit.
Yeah, if you don't kill the Marines, it's actually impossible to get the skip.
Like almost each dropship will have like a little line of dialogue telling you that, oh, a dropship's landing.
We stay near the beacon and wait
Okay,
for
so
extraction.
I got the skip, so normally there's supposed to be another dropship over there, but it didn't appear at all. The current theory to why this works is that it's the same ship that's used for a previous ship, and it's like can't despawn on time, so it can't spawn the next ship.
Anybody reading me? Repeat. Fire Team Charlie.
Yeah, there's a
We
few
read you.
theories on
Is
how
that you,
this glitch
Foehammer?
works.
Roger, Fire Team Charlie. Good to hear from you. Foehammer, we need transportation.
So now I'm
to the
just
command
waiting for
shuttle.
Foehammer to drop off a
I'm on my
Warthog
way.
for me. That's actually
Look,
why we do
more
this
lifeboats.
fight in the
They're
first
coming
place.
fast.
Because
If those
you
lifeboats
could
make it
just
down,
continue on
Heaven
with the
will
level
be
on
right
foot,
on top
but
of
it's
them.
so slow that it's
Foehammer,
really
we
not
need you
worth
to
it.
disengage your Warthog. The Master Chief and I are going to see if we can save some soldiers.
Oh yeah, backpack reloading. So something you'll see me do a lot in this game is reload my weapons without actually reloading them. It's called backpack reloading, and it happens when I press the reload button 2 times and then swap weapons. And the weapon that I started reloading will continue reloading while it's in my backpack,
This cave
or
is
when
not
I
a
have the
natural
other weapon out.
formation. Someone built
It speeds up combat a
so it
lot,
must
so it's
lead
really
somewhere.
useful.
I've hacked into the Covenant battle network. They're actually broadcasting tactical data on unencrypted channels. We should show them who they're dealing with. Master Chief, I'm going to use your suit's
Yeah,
transcom
backpack
system
reloading
to
is
monitor their
gonna
chatter.
become like really useful in the later levels where Savu's gonna have to kill like a ton of enemies. So it just keeps the combat flow going, and he really doesn't have to stop.
Okay, so coming up is the first Warthog fling in the game. Basically, I'm just gonna try and manipulate the Warthog's physics to give me a big boost. Hopefully it works. Okay, so there I flew up more than I normally should have. And that's basically when you get out of the Warthog and then do a sharp turn. The game kind of... Well, there's a mechanic in the game where for a split second after you get out of your vehicle, you can't splatter yourself with it. So you can abuse that to like push yourself forward with the Warthog by doing a sharp turn and getting out at the same time.
There's new traffic on the
And
Covenant
it gives you a
battle
bunch of
network.
speed there.
A
I
lot
actually
more
used it
crew made
to
off the Autumn than I had
hit a
predicted.
small
The
corner
captain really gave them
that
hell.
transfers it from like horizontal
We can
momentum
find
to
Captain Keyes
vertical
and the other
momentum.
survivors.
So I
We
was
have a
able to
chance to coordinate an
fly
effective
pretty high up and get
resistance.
on that ledge. Rex, you wanna explain the end of this level, how it's structured?
Oh man. Okay. So sure. So killing the Marines is gonna be a big theme of this level. We're gonna have to rescue three groups of Marines, and it's a lot faster to kill the Marines than rescue them.
No
Rescuing
sign
them
of
is
survivors.
incredibly slow because we have to clear the area of enemies and wait for Foehammer to pick up the Marines. So instead of doing that, we're gonna just kill the Marines.
Maybe
But
they took
there's a
cover in
slight
that
problem with
structure.
that,
Let's check
in
it
that
out.
we can't shoot the Marines. So what
We
we
should
can do
search the
instead
interior of those
is
structures before
use
we leave.
grenades and the Warthog to kill the Marines, because it doesn't count as Master Chief killing them. And if at least 2 Marines see you attack another Marine, the entire like Marine army on this map is just gonna be mad at you. So what we're gonna do here is just kill a bunch of Marines, and we'll move on to the next objective.
Yeah, I actually had a really good first clear. Basically, I just threw one frag grenade and all of the Marines inside died. I
Yeah,
had to kind of look and make sure
We
that
should
all of
search
them
the
died though,
interior
because
of
if
those
you leave
structures before we
even
leave.
one Marine alive, then the level just won't finish.
yeah, it's very important that you gotta kill the Marines. The backtracking is terrible.
This second area that I'm going into is it's the biggest RNG part so far in the game, because the Marines can either be really tightly packed together or spread out really far. And I just want to kill them with
Survivors
grenades as
detected.
fast as possible.
Marines are concealed in those rocks.
And I can kill a couple Marines just by shooting, but if I kill too many, they will get mad at me.
Yeah. Sometimes you're gonna have to shoot them, but it's good to keep an eye on how many you shoot.
Okay, that was decent. So depending on how fast you do this marine clear, this last area actually can go faster or slower. So I think that was fast enough that I'm going to get the fast last area. Basically, there's certain dialogue that needs to happen for this next area to trigger properly. but if you go too slow, then there's another dialogue that happens that...
What are you doing? We have to stay with the Marines.
Okay, I had to listen there, and sadly I didn't get the good dialogue. So there was another dialogue that overlapped with the one that I wanted. So now I need to wait here for a bit.
There's some Marines hiding in the hills above the structure.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
think this is the only clear where we're gonna rescue Marines, right?
Yeah,
I'll
you
call
need
in
to
a
rescue them
dropship to pick
for
them up.
the last clear, because you actually need to end the level, and the level ends when Foehammer picks you up. And she won't pick you up if you don't rescue the Marines. Or actually, even if all of the Marines die, she will pick you up, but it's faster to do it this way. Because you still need to clear all the enemies. Okay, so I heard that's the last of them, which means that this level will
New traffic on
finish
Covenant
properly.
Battlenet. I found Captain Keyes. He's being held on a Covenant cruiser, the Truth and Reconciliation.
So now the
Ship I
level end is
disabled
just on a
before we
timer.
abandoned the Autumn. The Truth and Reconciliation touched down on a desert plateau roughly 300 kilometers upspin. There's our ride. Get aboard and let's get out of here.
Welcome aboard, man. The enemy has
Dude,
captured
pretty good
Captain
Halo so far.
Keyes and are holding him
Yeah,
aboard
it's going
one of
pretty
their
well so far.
cruisers, The Truth and Reconciliation. The ship is currently holding position approximately 300 meters above
This
the
level,
other end
though,
of this plateau.
This level is hard.
So how do we get inside the ship?
This is a level, alright.
The Corps issued me a right
This level is probably the hardest level in the game for me. I'm kind of bad at it, or
Once
at
we get
least
inside
have
the
been for a
ship,
long time.
we should be able to lock on to the tracking
But
signal
recently I've
of
been getting
Captain
better,
Keyes'
so
neural implants.
in this level I'm gonna let Rexy talk a lot, at least in the later parts, because I'm just gonna be
Stick
focusing
to
on
the
the
higher
combat.
ground to the right.
Yeah,
We
there's
should
gonna
be
be a
able to
ton
recon
of
a
combat
position
on this
without
level,
being
so
spotted.
it's
I've
gonna help
detected
Sav
Covenant
out
stationary
with commentary and
guns at the
stuff.
next pass. I recommend using your sniper rifle to
Basically
take out
this
the
level,
while I call for
the
Marine
developers
support.
just really loved wave fights in this level. Thankfully we can skip like half of them, but we still have to do some of them.
Yeah, the beginning of the level is just running through Truth and Reconciliation and just like getting to the part where we have to board the ship.
Yeah, I'm just killing some select enemies so they don't chase me and do a lot of damage. You don't really have to kill any of the enemies here, but it makes it a bit safer. Because even on easy, you can sometimes die.
Cortana to Fire Team Charlie.
Yeah, plus you don't want to get
On the left.
blocked.
You should be able to flank
Some
the
enemies
enemy.
could really block you.
Okay, so this area, I have to kill a certain amount of enemies, and I'm gonna count mentally and just focus on this.
Do you want me to talk about the wave fights?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so there's about 7 enemies in the area that you have to kill before a dropship comes in.
Covenant dropships are
And
inbound.
yeah, the dropship will come in if there's 2 enemies left in the area. And once Sabu clears like the dropship, there's gonna be 4 waves of enemies, and he's gonna clear them out pretty fast. So first step is just clearing the area of all enemies for the dropship, clearing the dropship, and then wave fights.
Okay, that went fairly smoothly. One of these jackals kind of got away from me, but that's fine, didn't cost me too much time. So now there's just 2 more hunters that I need to kill. Hunters have these orange bits that are basically their weak points, so one snipe there kills them. And there I was
Once
able
we're
to
inside
snipe
the
one
ship,
of them properly
hone
and
in
had
on the
to
captain's command
just
neural
brute force
interface.
kill the other one.
They'll probably be in or near the ship's brig, which should narrow our search.
Dude, nice lift fight.
Okay, so next up is the belly fight. This is also a wave fight. I'm gonna kill one of the marines to skip some dialogue, and then 6 waves of enemies will spawn. And this is also kind of hard. Hopefully I can clear these enemies fairly fast though.
Yeah, the spawns for these waves are random, so Sabu's just gonna keep an eye on the radar and alert enemies with his plasma pistol. This level can be a pain sometimes, but I think it's one of my favorite levels to run in terms of ILs.
It's a really fun level if it goes well, but when it doesn't go well, it goes really bad, usually. At least for me. I guess that was an okay belly fight. Not too great though, I got fairly bad RNG with the waves. What you want are waves with 2 elite or 2 grunts and elite. And the worst thing that can happen is 2 jackals and 2 grunts.
That's the locked door down there.
Okay, here I'm gonna manipulate this elite into hopefully charging at me and opening this locked door for me. That's pretty much the only place in the game where we can actually save time by forcing an enemy to open a door for us. At least save significant amounts of time. There are some smaller time saves otherwhere or elsewhere, but that skips another wave fight, so it saves an incredible amount of time. And coming up is something called the TNR nade stack. Basically there is a power up that I will pick up that will make me invincible for a couple seconds, and this makes it possible to do some pretty cool skips.
Signal and approach fast and low. There's a shuttle bay on the ship's starboard side. Roger, Cortana. Echo 419 on approach.
And there I actually went for kind of a harder version of that skip. Normally you're supposed to do a stack of 3 grenades and then 2 grenade jumps to get up to the top floor. But I timed my jump well enough that I actually got to the ship with the first nade stack.
Dude, nice stack. That's actually a lot harder than it looks. Lining it up it's pretty weird.
And then this is just trying to get through as fast as possible while clearing enemies. I don't really have to kill the enemies in these hallways, but I will have to come back through here, so I'll have to kill them later if I don't kill them now. Okay, those invisible elites gave me a bit of trouble, but still an okay clear.
We should head back to the shuttle bay and call
Here
for
I'm
the-
gonna kill some of my allies. Wanna explain that, Rexy? Why we kill
yeah.
them here?
Sure. So there's going to be some dialogue at the end of this level, and by killing 2 allies, similar to like Halo, where if you kill 2 Marines in front of any other Marine or Captain Keys, they'll get angry at you. So we're just gonna kill 2 Marines right off the bat and get Captain Keys angry. Mostly to like follow you and also like end the level quicker because it skips some dialogue.
Yeah, so this is actually supposed to be an escort mission, but we kill half of the Marines to make it faster.
Yeah, just gets them to the bridge quicker.
And that's the end of the level. The level is actually not supposed to end there, but because of the grenade stack I did earlier, the triggers in that level get
The
kind of
Covenant
messed up.
believe that what they call the silent cartographer is somewhere under
Not
the
gonna go
silent. The
in depth
cartographer
on
is a mapper
why it
who
happens
lead
here,
us to
because it
Halo's
will take a
control
while, but
center.
it's consistent and it ends the
The
level
island
a
has
bit early.
multiple structures and installations. One of them contains the map room.
We're approaching the LZ. It's gonna be
Yeah,
hot. Get
this
to
level,
the
Silent Cartographer, it's
touchdown.
a pretty cool level. It's gonna start out with me just walking along this beach for a while, then I'm gonna get a Warthog, and then I'm suddenly gonna do a bunch of tricks in a really short time. and hopefully I won't fail them. Basically the first trick I'm gonna do is a Warthog fling, which I did earlier on Halo, through a door that's going to lock. That saves several minutes and it's kind of hard to do. It's one of the biggest skips in the game. Then after that I'm going to do a pretty precise fall where I fall really far down and hopefully don't die. And after that I'm going to do a similar trick to what I did on Truth and Reconciliation, where I stack some grenades and use an overshield to not die. But this one is going to be a bit more elaborate. A bit bigger. And also a lot harder.
Nah, it's pretty easy.
Nah, it's pretty easy,
There,
but yeah.
in the cliff wall. I'll bet the silent cartographer is somewhere.
Rex
inside
is
that
actually
facility.
pretty good at that trick.
Yeah, this
Covenant
is
are
like
putting
one
up
of
a
the
real
shortest
fight.
levels in the
Cartographer must
speed
be
run.
here. Don't let them lock the
Skips
doors.
quite a bit.
Okay, got through the door, killed the elite for some grenades, skip a cutscene here by shooting, and hopefully don't die this fall. Ooh, I got a lot of damage. Gonna do a safer fall down here. And then hopefully get this stack. Okay, I didn't get quite what I wanted. Ideally I would have gotten even higher and
I
like
underestimated
one
the
ledge
Covenant's
above where I
understanding
got,
of Halo subsystems.
but this is fine.
They've locked the doors.
I'm gonna just
we
keep
don't
going
have
with
enough
this.
firepower to get through
I
them.
could revert and try it again, but it would most likely just lose me time over
Have you found the control center?
just walking through here.
Negative, Captain. The Covenant have impeded our progress. We can't proceed unless we can disable
Yeah.
this installation.
Even missing the
security
stack, you still save a ton of time, like over the old route.
Understood. We're still
Yeah, I believe
I may be out of contact when we get
failing it the way I did there, where I still got to
I want
that
you to
platform,
use the means necessary to force
it's
your
pretty
way
much the
through
same
those
time as if I did the old route
We have to get to the
really
center
well,
before
so
the
it's
Covenant.
not really
And failure
that
is not enough.
risky, I guess, to go for that, since even if you
Echo 419 to ground
fail,
team.
you
I'll
still
stay
get a
on
pretty good
station.
time for
Keep
this
an eye
level.
out for Covenant bogeys.
Second squad, ready to roll as soon as everybody's topside.
So here, the enemies just died. It's a weird trigger.
Good luck, people.
They just die when you walk up here. And the level end is on a timer right now.
The chief and I are topside.
Foehammer is
Requesting pickup.
coming to pick me up.
We need to find the security override to get this door open.
Roger, on my way.
So that's Silent Cartographer. It's a fun level. It's really cool when done fast, but that was still pretty okay.
This is as far as I can go. Roger that. We'll be
So
able to
this
find
level
our
is
way to the
Assault on the
center
Control
from
Room.
here. Good luck. Foehammer
It's a
out.
favorite of many people in casual play. It's a really long, fun level, you get to use a tank and stuff, but we don't really do that in speedrun. There's a trick in this level that basically trivializes the entire level, if you can pull it off. It's coming up right after this room, and it's called the AOTCR Bridge Fall.
Hardest trick in the run, in my opinion.
Interesting. The weather patterns here seem natural, not artificial. I wonder if the ring's environment systems are malfunctioning, or if the designers wanted the installation to have inclement weather.
Okay, that was the hard part. The hard part's over now. So I'd jump off of a
I didn't think
bridge
there were any human
and
forces
do
left on
some
this
very
boundary line.
specific
Cortana to Fire Team
falls
Zulu.
in
I
order
read
to
you.
not fall all the way
Fire
down
Team
and die.
Zulu, this is Cortana. Hold position.
And
We're on our way.
here's the last fall.
Roger that. Make it quick.
Yeah, essentially Master Chief's fall is on a timer, so if you fall too long, you'll die. If you fall from a large enough height, you'll take too much damage, so Savu just like aims for slopes to cancel the fall timer. Nice,
Yeah.
easy peasy.
And now we're at the ground level. You probably noticed that there's no enemies here right now. And that's because jumping off of that bridge actually skips a bunch of triggers that spawn all the enemies for the rest of the level. So now we're just driving through an empty map. Thankfully there's still vehicles because the pilots despawned, but the enemies are, or the vehicles are always there. So we can just grab all the vehicles and go through fast. And this driving might be boring for someone who doesn't know the speedrun that well, but there's actually a ton of small optimizations you can make for the driving, just like cutting corners, slowing down in certain spots so you can turn faster, flinging yourself a bit with the ghost, stuff like that.
Controlling the ghost is an art form, I think.
Yeah. And sadly there's no music for most of this driving either, because I believe we skip a music trigger as well.
Dang.
Oh, and another thing we skip is a checkpoint trigger, so the last checkpoint I got was in those tunnels, and I'm not going to get another checkpoint for the rest of this level. And there is a chance to die in this level, even if there's no enemies. Because later on I'm going to be flying with a Banshee and getting out of that Banshee quickly to press some buttons, and if I'm not careful, the Banshee can actually land on me and splatter me and kill me. Amazing driving here, folks. But yeah, I think every Halo runner has had the Banshee splatter them near the end, at least once.
Yep, it's happened at least once with me. Oh, nice. Style points with the ghost.
Gonna do a cute little grenade jump over in this next room. Saves like 5 seconds or so.
So Savu, when is Banshee clip for AOTCRILs?
Oh, Banshee clip. So a while ago I actually found a small trick in this level that's incredibly inconsistent. I got it once out of like 3 hours of trying it, and even then I didn't get the full thing, just a clip out of bounds. Basically, you can fly that Banshee all the way inside the room that I was in just now, and clip out of bounds, and then instead of going through these like side passages, you can just jump into this next room. It might save like a second or two if you do it fast, but it's pretty much just segmented shots, because it's so incredibly hard to do. But maybe someday. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this level. I'm just gonna fly this Banshee over here, press some buttons, and actually you can do this kind of enemy deload in a bunch of other levels as well, where you can just drive through an empty map, but you can't finish those levels. The reason you can actually finish this level is because it's tied to you pressing a button instead of killing certain enemies or something. So you don't actually need to like hit the triggers as you have to in other levels. You can just get to this button and end the level.
Yeah, some levels are gonna have like ground triggers and enemy killing triggers. This one's just a button.
And actually in especially in one of the later levels, there's some wonky triggers that if I just go fast, I will skip, but I actually don't want to skip because then I will soft lock the game. So I'll have to slow down to actually finish the level, but that's not for a while yet. This is 343 Guilty Spark. I'm gonna go crazy and try some IL strats here just for the hell of it.
Oh nice, plasma jump?
Plasma jump, I'm at 3 yellow, which is kind of bad, oh well. Who cares? I might die later on. Grenades do a lot of damage on easy. They actually do more damage on easy than on legendary. So dying is a real problem on easy when you're doing grenade jumps.
Luckily 3 yellow is like the bare minimum you need for another plasma jump.
Yeah, it's the bare minimum you need. The plasma jump might take a couple tries to pull off though, because it's incredibly hard to actually pull off the next jump with 3 yellow health. But I've done it before, so I should be able to do it, and if I can't, I still have another backup strat that will lose a bunch of time, but I won't have to restart the entire level. Okay, so let's try this. Nope, that was way too early. Actually missed the explosion. Okay, there we go. I got it second try, so not too bad, not too bad.
Reminder to hold enter to skip cutscene.
There, I did it. Are you happy now?
I'm very happy, thank you. It's my only strats have him.
Yeah, that's a bit of an inside joke, because Rexy found out that you can actually hold enter to skip certain cutscenes. But on other ones it just can freeze the game, so it's not a very consistent strat.
Nope.
And here holding enter is as opposed to just pressing it. So it's an incredibly important strat for saving time.
Dude, it saves at least 1 frame. Nice reveal room.
Yeah, so that room you have to kill the infection forms for the door to open. And if you place your grenades correctly, you can actually clear it pretty fast.
Yeah, 343 is a pretty neat level in that it has like a lot of little tricks. It's not really combat filled, it's just a lot of really neat little tricks.
Yeah, there's no like single big trick in this level, there's just a ton of small ones. And actually coming up is one of the favorites of some people, the hardest trick in the game, the camo jump.
Without a doubt, the hardest trick in the game.
Let's see if I can pull it off. God damn! Camo jump, I hate you.
It's not your fault, Sabu. It's a very difficult trick.
So I've actually been having a lot of trouble with this trick lately. It's a normal jump, but it's really tight. There we go. Only took me 3 tries to get it. You're supposed to get it first try every time, but oh well.
You'll get it next time. First mistake in a run so far, I think.
Yeah, that's the first actually missed trick in the run, I think. Or I guess I missed stick stack earlier. But that wasn't a total failure. So yeah, a small grenade jump there saves like 5 seconds or so. And then we are nearing the end of this level.
That grenade jump actually is pretty important for like the end level trigger.
Oh yeah, so the end level trigger for this level is kind of odd. We really didn't know why it happened until someone actually extracted the game scripts for the levels and looked at them to see how exactly the level ends. And there's like 4 different ways you can end the level on easy, and turns out that the fastest way to end this level is to just be at 1 red health at the end of the level, because it's supposed to be a fight where 343 Guilty Spark, a dude we're going to see in a bit, he's coming to save you. So if you're at low health, the game thinks you're about to die and tries to end the level quicker to like have the illusion of Guilty Spark saving you. So here's Guilty Spark and his sentinels. We're just gonna wait for the level to end. And now for everyone's favorite level, the library. Anyone wanna tell their feelings about library?
I can't PB because of this level.
This level is quite something. I think among like casual players, it's the worst level in the game, according to them, and according to speedrunners, it's also the worst level in the game for totally different reasons. I'm going to attempt a trick here, and if I get it, I'm gonna explain it, or I'm gonna explain it anyway, even if I don't get it, but I'm just gonna try to get it here. Okay, I didn't get the first door. So this level is basically 14 minutes of brown hallways and doors that you need to wait for them to open. This is the first door. It takes like 15 seconds to open. And there is a trick in this level called flood bumping, which allows you to get through these locked doors. And it saves up to 2.5 minutes through the entire level. So that's pretty cool, right? Now the bad thing is that it's completely random. Basically, around 1/4 of these enemies are what we call revivers, which means that when you kill them, after a while they will stand back up and continue fighting. And if you stand right on top of them as they revive, then their hitbox just, or sorry, their collision box just magically appears where you're standing. So the game freaks out and just pushes you somewhere away from the flood's collision. And if you position them correctly, you can get clipped out of bounds. So for almost all of these locked doors in this level, I'm going to attempt to get a human flood. There are 2 kinds of flood. These are elite flood and then there's human flood. I'm going to attempt to get a human flood to attack me in a certain position, and then stand on top of them if they are revivers and hopefully clip through the doors. I'm gonna do a neat little grenade jump here. It actually doesn't save any time, but it skips a trigger for some allied sentinels. Normally there would be sentinels flying through here and they will attack the flood and make it harder for me to try and do a flood bump for this next door. So I just skip them.
Yeah. How you know, well, how to like point out like what's a reviver and what isn't a reviver is.
Oh, right. So this guy is a reviver. How do I know that? Because he died to 1 pistol shot. Basically, revivers die to 1 pistol shot, non-revivers die to 2 pistol shots. So there, I got a reviver, but sadly I positioned him incorrectly, so I didn't actually get the trick. getting too low on shields here, so I'm just gonna not try the last flood.
Yeah, it's pretty important to exit this door with 7 bars of health. Or 8 bars, my bad. I can't count.
Yeah. The reason for that is that there's another locked door right after, but this one actually isn't totally locked. It opens halfway and then stops there. So if you have enough health, you can do a grenade jump through it. And if you don't have enough health, it wastes a ton of time. Especially if you get the flood bump, because then it actually takes even longer for this door to open.
Yeah, luckily if you leave a sentinel door with, say, 7 bars of health, you can go for a plasma jump, which takes like less damage than a frag jump.
Yeah, it's harder to do, but plasma grenades do less damage to you than frag grenades, so sometimes we use plasmas, sometimes we use frags. It depends on the situation.
Yeah, frags are definitely a lot faster.
Yes. Although frags do take you to 1 red health instantly, so sometimes, for example on 3.3 Guilty Spark, the reason I did plasma jumps is because I could do 2 of them in a row without getting a health pack. Whereas for frag grenades you can only do 1 grenade jump unless you get a health pack. Okay, so this is the second elevator. We're about halfway through the level. Those first 2 doors are... The first one is not really important to get because it only saves around 10 seconds to get through it with a flood bump. It opens up so fast. The second door is... saves a whole bunch of time, but it's still not the most important door. So it's not a huge deal that I didn't get either of those. But on this 3rd floor, there's going to be 2 different doors. The dark door and the 60-second door. The 60-second door is named because it takes 60 seconds to open, even though I'm not even sure if it actually takes 60 seconds to open.
Doesn't it take 69 seconds? Sorry.
Oh yeah, sometimes we also call it the 69 door because on legendary difficulty it takes 90 seconds to open.
60, 90, 69.
Exactly. So here I'm doing some stuff to delay getting a checkpoint because I want to get a checkpoint in a precise spot. That was kind of early, but should still be fine. So here I actually got a checkpoint right before these floods spawn. Okay, never mind, I didn't even need to use the checkpoint. So that's the first flood bump that I actually got. I can just jump through the door and bam, saves like 35 seconds or so.
Dude, nice first try.
So yeah, that's the dark door. Basically there what you can do is you get a checkpoint right before the enemies next to the door spawn, and then go and try to get a flood bump off of that elite form that's right next to the door. And if you don't get it, you can revert to checkpoint and spawn the next enemies and try again and try again and again until you get it. But getting it first try is obviously the best possible thing.
I think you can go for it like about 3 times before you lose time, right?
Yeah, I think it's around there.
Yeah, it depends on how fast you revert.
Yeah, so here I'm also going to do some checkpoint manipulation, except never mind, I'm just gonna try one of these. You're a reviver, right? Please be a reviver. Damn.
Dang.
He's a
no
reviver.
checkpoint.
but for some reason he was positioned incorrectly. That's actually weird. I'm not sure why he was not in the right position. But yeah,
dang.
I wanted to do some checkpoint manipulation there, but I guess I got a checkpoint too early, because I sure didn't get it where I wanted it to be, so that's too bad. What you can do here is, if you have several flood following you, you can get a checkpoint, then go back and see if any of them are revivers, and then revert to checkpoint and use them to do the bump. Oh well, I tried a couple backups, none of them worked, so we're gonna have to wait this one out.
I think the flood bumped you. I think he's on the other side of the door.
Yeah, I think it clipped inside the door. That's true. Yeah, that's actually pretty sad because getting a reviver like that there is actually pretty important. That's the flood bump that saves the most time in this level.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I might go look at that later, see what I did wrong. So I'm pretty sure I set it up correctly, but he was just in the wrong position when he died. Oh well. I believe I have full health, so I'm not going to grab that health back. There's another grenade jump going to happen in a bit, so I need full health here. Just get through the door. Skip's going through a tunnel down there.
I didn't actually know this door didn't open, so when I missed the grenade jump, I just stood there like an idiot for like
Nice.
a minute or so. Terrible.
Okay, at least I got the bump here. I'm actually gonna do something swag. Gonna do a door teleport.
Oh, nice.
It doesn't save much time. It's only like 2 or 3 seconds, but it's super swag. Because you basically flood bump inside the door, and then you do that certain setup, and you just teleport like a bunch forward. We don't really know why it happens, but it's consistent, and yeah, it saves a bit of time. There's a couple places in this game where you just randomly get teleported if you move into a janky position.
Yeah, there's one on keys, shield bump, where you can get teleported if you stand in a certain spot.
Okay, so that's library. This is an unskippable cutscene that takes 63 seconds, so it's the biggest downtime in the run. And there, that last grenade jump I did through the door is actually fairly precise, because if you do it even a tiny bit too late, enemies spawn right next to you and kill you. Because you're at 1 red, you can't really fight enemies. But if you do it early enough, you can just run straight past them.
Yeah, also the door is a bit of a troll in that it opens twice, so you really have to get that first jump.
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically opens a bit, then it malfunctions for a bit and starts opening a bit again, and then it stops again, and only then after a while it opens fully. So doing that grenade jump actually saves a bunch of time.
Look out!
But yeah.
Okay, 2 betrayals.
Oh boy.
Another everyone's favorite level, especially speedrunners.
Oh, fantastic level. I love this level.
This level is just the best. It doesn't really have RNG in the same way as Library does, but it does have RNG in a different way. Where there's a couple spots in this level where you can just die because of RNG. And what makes it even worse is that there is a strat
We
you can
can't
do
let
here.
the monitor activate Halo. We have to stop him. We have to destroy
There's a cool
Halo.
slide you can do here
According to my
that saves like
analysis of
3
the
seconds or
available data, I
something,
believe the
but
best course of action
it
is
skips a
somewhat
checkpoint
twisted.
trigger, so you don't
An
get
explosion
checkpoints
of
for the next
sufficient
4
size
minutes
will
or
help
so.
destabilize the
And at
ring,
the end of that
and will
4
cut
minute
through a number of
stretch
primary
is
systems.
the area
We
in
need
the
to
game that
trigger a
causes the
detonation
most
on a
deaths
large
out of any
scale,
area
however.
in the entire game.
A Starship's
So I'm
fusion
not going to do the
reactors will
slide
be
because
critical
this is a
to
marathon
the
and
job.
I don't want to lose 4 minutes
I'm going
to
to search what's
just
left of the
dying.
Covenant BattleNet and see if I can locate the Pillar
And,
of Autumn's crash
yeah.
site. If the ship's
Get some
fusion
sweet
reactors are still
Cortana
relatively
overlap here.
intact,
Oh
we
yeah,
can use them to
Cortana's
destroy
going
Halo.
to be pretty crazy here.
Haven't located the crash site yet, but we need to buy some time in case the Monitor or his Sentinels find a way to activate Halo's final weapon without the index.
Yeah, even though this is easy
The
difficulty,
machinery in
you
these
can still
canyons
get
are
killed
Halo's
pretty easily
primary firing
by some
mechanisms.
enemies.
They consist of 3 phase pulse generators that amplify Halo's signal and allow it to fire deep into
So the goal of this level
The power levels are
is
enormous.
to
That's the pulse.
hit
Can't
3
even
of these
begin to
pulse
calculate the
generators.
pulse's range.
This is the first one. Basically
Objective
just teaches
accomplished.
you that
The pulse generator has
when
overloaded.
you
Scanning.
hit one of those pulse generators,
The generator's
it drains your
central core is
shields,
offline. Well done.
but it
So,
doesn't really
if we
do
damage or destroy
anything
these
to you
generators,
other
the
than that.
monitor will need to repair them
Later
before
on,
the second
there's going to be a
pulse
pulse
generator.
generator that
Buy
drains
some
your
time.
shields
Move
and
out, I'll
also
mark the target
spawns
with a nav
like
point.
20
Closer.
flood right next to you.
I'm marking the location
So
of
that's
that
going to
nearest
be
pulse generator. That's the way the
an
nav
interesting
point.
part.
We need to move in and neutralize the device. Wait, we should commandeer one of those Banshees. We'll need it to reach the pulse generator in time.
Okay, so I'm getting checkpoints here still, which means I didn't skip the checkpoint trigger. I'm not sure if it's possible to skip it by doing the safe slides that I did there, but it's nice to know that I'm getting checkpoints anyway.
So this is like AOTCR. Why don't we just like skip the entire level and despawn enemies?
Oh, yes. So this level is basically AOTCR but backwards, and it's pretty great that you can do a deload like AOTCR in this level. It's actually really easy to do a deload like that in this level. Basically, if you just do the normal speedrun route and do it fast, you will deload the level and you will softlock the game because you cannot actually complete this level if you miss a single enemy trigger. Actually, that's not quite true. You can miss some of them, but most of them are required. Only very specific ones you can skip. And there's none of them that are actually useful to skip in this speedrun. But the way triggers work in this game is that they check for the player character every now and then. The default value is once a second. Some check more often, but usually it's once per second. And if you go too fast through the trigger area, so that you're not inside the area when it checks for your player model, then... Oh shit. Sorry about that. I just had a rocket fly straight at me.
It's a Christian stream.
Yeah. Sorry. But... what was I saying again? So
Oh,
yeah, triggers,
shit.
triggers only check
I just
once per
saw
second,
it.
so if you go too fast through some of them, then it will just not activate and you will softlock the level. It's fun.
How you barely survived that?
So this bridge is pretty notorious for killing runs, because it's basically random whether you die here. There's 3 flood with rocket launchers who can kill you pretty easily, and there's a Banshee flying around that can just randomly splatter you, and there's nothing you can do to that Banshee, absolutely nothing. At least nothing fast. If you actually try and kill it, it takes a long time and it's not really viable for speedrunning. So you just have to pretty much pray that the Banshee doesn't decide to randomly kill you.
Yeah, for some reason instead of shooting you, the Banshee just really likes to ram you.
But yeah, that's the most scary part of the level done with. There's a small cute little clip I'm gonna try here. Okay, didn't work. Basically, when you're in the elevator At the end there you can just walk through that wall if you time it correctly, but it's really precise. Only saves like a second, so not a big deal to miss it. Gonna do a grenade jump here. And I'm actually doing it in a way that specifically does very little damage to me. Because I want to have a lot of health going up to a later area. Flip this ghost with a rocket to save like 2 seconds. And now we're driving. So if I didn't do the grenade jump there the way I did, I would be forced to pick up a health pack right here. But it's kind of slow. Takes like 3 or 4 seconds to grab it, so I'm just gonna skip it. The reason you want health is that coming up is the second pulse generator. Also kind of notorious for killing you, because there's just a ton of flood in the room and the pulse generator drains all of your shields. And it also spawns a lot of enemies in the exit. So I'm most likely going to take some damage at least, but hopefully not die. There's a very specific way to exit this, which usually works. Basically I'm just going to use a bunch of explosives to clear the exit as fast as possible.
That did it. The pulse generator overloaded. One more to go.
Okay, I barely made it out. That was scary.
I've located the Pillar of Autumn. She put down 1,200 kilometers upspin. Energy readings show her fusion reactors are
So
still
that's 2 out
powered
of
up.
3 pulse generators in this level so
That
far.
tunnel leads to the next section of canyon. The final pulse generator
Here's
we need
another
to
spot
destroy
where
is
you
through
can just
there.
randomly die, because these flood up ahead have rocket launchers, and if you're in the Banshee, 1 rocket will kill you. If you're in the Ghost and have a bunch of health, then rockets will usually not kill you straight up, but god damn it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of health,
That
so
did it.
1
The
rocket
pulse
did kill me.
generator overloaded. One more to go.
And my checkpoint was really bad as well. I'm back at the second pulse generator. Oh well. It's not as bad of a death as you can have on this level, but still
Put down
pretty bad.
1,200 kilometers upspin. Energy readings show her fusion reactors are still powered up.
Two
That tunnel leads to
betrayals.
the next
2
section of
betrayals.
canyon. The final
I'm
pulse
Well, at
actually
least the
pretty
second
surprised
time
that
around.
I'm pretty surprised that I didn't die earlier than this on this level, so
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. At least you're dying in the places that you can die in.
well, this is going great. um,
No.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
the same thing again.
That did it.
Cool, cool,
The
cool.
pulse generator overloaded.
This
One more
level
to
is
go.
pretty cursed when it comes to marathons or races or any kind of similar activity. Because there's just a ton of places where you can just instantly die. And there's not much you can do about it.
I've located the Pillar of Autumn. She put down 1,200 kilometers upspin. Energy readings show her fusion reactors are still powered up.
But
That tunnel leads
it's
to
not
the
too
next
bad.
section
The
of
run was
canyon.
going really
The
well
final pulse generator
up
we
until
need to
this, so
destroy is
I'm
through
not too
there.
worried. Okay, that was weird, but I didn't die, so it's fine. So there's a small trick here. Checklist actually saves a bunch of time, where you're not supposed to get a vehicle through this doorway, but we're gonna get a vehicle through this doorway. Basically, when you're not inside a vehicle, it's completely invulnerable, so you can rocket it around and get it through there. And there, on that bridge, were actually a bunch of triggers that I needed to slow down to hit, because the game expects you to be on foot. So the triggers only check every so often, and if you're in a ghost then you're going way faster than the triggers check for you. And I believe this is the last weird trigger in this level. 5 enemies in this area need to die for the next area to actually load properly. So I'm just gonna kill these 5 enemies that spawn right near me and continue on.
Yeah, and you'll know if you've killed 5 enemies if the next area is loaded with enemies.
Yep, certainly has enemies, including these rocket flood, which usually aren't a problem, but sometimes they can be. I don't know who decided it would be a good idea to give the flood rocket launchers that instantly kill you. Or not always instantly, but usually instantly. Just gonna switch to a Banshee here and then fly to the end. But yeah, the next level keys is actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna do a strat where I try to get lucky. Basically I'm going to check if I can do a flood bump, and then if I can, I'm going to try and do the flood bump, like on library. But if I can't, then I'm going to do another trick called a shield bump.
Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
So this is Keys, it's the shortest level in the game. At least hopefully.
Captain? Captain? I've lost him.
Okay, so here I'm waiting for a checkpoint and I didn't get a reviver. Okay, so there I basically waited for a checkpoint, and if that flood was a reviver then I could have reverted to that checkpoint and used him to do a flood bump, but instead I'm going to do something called a shield bump here. You wanna talk about this, Rexy?
Yeah, sure. So similar to the flood bumps, when you shoot the shield, it loses its collision box for a bit before it comes back. So by standing on a very specific spot, literally pixels above the shield, it'll bump you upwards instead of side to side like flood bumps. And by bumping upwards, you can get to ceiling and do a pretty cool trick that skips a lot of the level.
I got it pretty fast there, actually.
Oh, nice.
Basically it just bumps you through the ceiling, and then you can do some blind platforming to get to this part of the level, which is actually right near the end of the level. So this level is kind of like shaped like a ring, I guess, where the start and the end are actually very near each other. So just by getting through that one locked door, or I guess doing that route you go past a couple hallways, but
No
there's
human
like
life
one
signs
locked
detected.
door and
The
one
captain, he's one of
just
them.
wall in your way that you need to get through to get right to the end of the
Can't
level.
let the flood get off this ring.
And then
You
I
know what
needed
he'd
to go
expect.
and hit a trigger that loads the end
What
of the
he'd
level.
want us to do.
And now I need to go watch this cutscene, also unskippable, and then I can just walk to the end of the level.
It's done. I have the code. We should go.
Yep, and that's Keys.
We need to get
And
back
that's
to the
keys,
Pillar of
yep.
Autumn. Let's go back to
One
the
more
shop
level
bay
after
and
this.
find a ride.
One more level. Probably my favorite level in the game, actually. The Maw. It's a pretty cool level.
You're gonna go for mob bump?
Of course, I always go for Maw bump. So yeah, now the end of the level is just on a timer. I'm gonna see if I can do a swag shield bump here at the end. Hey, I did a shield bump.
Nice. Can that actually kill you?
Well, if you crouch with a bad timing, so you take
Grab one of the
extra fall
escort
damage, then
banshees
I guess.
and use it to return to the Pillar of
I've
Honor.
never died to it personally, so maybe someday.
Yeah, that's I didn't think it'd take you that high.
Okay, so yeah, the next level is the Maw, the last level in the game. There's something called the Maw bump,
We need to
where
get to the
basically I'm
bridge.
going to
From there, we can use the captain's neural implants to initiate
well,
an
it's
overload
a
of the
really
ship's
complicated
fusion
trick,
engines.
but the basic idea is that I'm
Explosion
going
should
to
damage
go
enough systems below
stand
it
in
to
a
destroy
corner
the
next to a
ring.
door that's being forced open, and it will bump me out of bounds. Then I'm going to do some weird stuff to load the textures in the next room so I can see, and then I'm going to do a bunch of really hard platforming. Okay, I need a shotgun here, and let's go. Okay, I made it, nice. So that skips going to the bridge, and there's a cutscene there, although the cutscene is skippable, but it skips a bunch of walking. And if done perfectly, it saves up to 25 seconds, I believe. But the way I did it there, it probably saves more like 10.
Didn't
I'm
you
gonna-
didn't you hold world record for it, Mo?
Yeah, I have the fastest time for this level on the PC by, I believe, 18 seconds, but on the Xbox version of this game, on Master Chief Collection, there's actually a trick you can do in this level called the extended bump, which is similar to the bump I did right there, except you go way further. I'm gonna do a swag strat here, hopefully it works.
Engine room located. We're here.
So
Alert.
that's the only
monitor
rocket
has
jump in the
disabled
game.
all command access.
Saves
We can't
like
restart the countdown.
6 seconds
The
or
only
so.
remaining option is to detonate
Not a huge
the
deal,
ship's
but it
fusion
looks swag, so
reactors.
might as well do it.
That should do enough damage to destroy Halo. Don't worry, I have access to
Dude,
all of the
rocket jump
reactor
is easy
schematics
peasy.
and procedures.
It is.
I'll walk you
And
through
because I did the rocket
First,
jump,
we need to pull back the exhaust couplings.
these
That will
reactor
expose
cycles
the
are
shaft that
actually
leads to the primary fusion drive core. Good.
I'm on a different cycle than you would usually be, so I need to go really fast to actually be able to complete this room during that cycle.
Use an explosive. I recommend a grenade or rocket. If
The
you run
normal
out of
way you would
explosives, there is an
just do a
armory
grenade
station
jump and then
located near the engine
walk
room's
up some
entrance.
stairs.
Analyzing.
I'm actually gonna wait here a bit. There's a
Fusion
thing
reactor
that can
number one
happen
destabilized.
on this elevator
Use
that I
explosives on the other 3 reactors.
tried
That should
to
be enough to
avoid
trigger a
there
wild threat
by
explosion of the
taking it a bit
engines.
slow. Basically you can walk under this elevator, but if it comes down at a bad time, it can clip you through the ground and kill you.
Echo 419. Roger, Cortana. I read you 5x5. The Pillar of Autumn's
But yeah, the
engines
stars
are
this
going
level is
vertical,
just,
Bowhammer.
it's
Request
just great in my
immediate
opinion.
extraction. Approach the crash site and be ready to pick us up at external access
There's a
junction
ton of
4C
tricks you
as
can
soon
do.
as you get my signal.
And they're really cool, and the Maw bump is something where you can always go faster. There's like no limit to how fast you can go.
Everything okay?
Yeah, the Maw's really cool though.
Negative. We have a wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion
So
core.
now the
Engines
end of
must
the
have
game is
sustained
just
more
driving
damage
this
than we
Warthog
thought.
for about
Analyzing.
3.5 minutes.
We have 6 minutes before the fusion drives detonate. We need to evac
It's very
now.
slippery,
Activating final
Warthog.
countdown timer.
Yeah.
When it reaches 0,
There is
the
some
engines will
optimization you can do. I'm
The
gonna
explosion will
try
generate
a
a
harder
temperature of almost
driving
100 million degrees. Don't
strategy for
leave
this
them
first
when it
room.
blows.
Oh, are you gonna go to the left?
Yeah, didn't go well. Well, lost a bit of the time trying to do that because I ran into a wall, but it's not too big of a deal. But yeah, this driving, there's not much you can optimize here, but just some small stuff. Making sure you drive the shortest route and stuff.
This was still a pretty good run.
Yeah, I mean, 2 betrayals was bad, but otherwise, pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot better than Finn runs.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. No, honestly, that run wasn't an entire train wreck either. It was mostly bad because I didn't get good checkpoints on 2 betrayals. Because 2 betrayals is just always annoying at marathons and stuff.
Wouldn't be shots fired without
yeah.
mentioning train runs.
Wait, stop.
Yeah,
This
2
is where
betrayals is a
Boheimer
bad level.
coming to pick us up.
Shots fired.
Hold position here.
Cortana to Echo 419.
So
Echo
there I
419.
was supposed to wait stop, but
She's gone.
instead I didn't, because
Calculating
I know
alternate
that
escape
Echo
routes.
419 is going to crash and burn and
Ship's
not pick us
inventory
up.
shows one longsword fighter is still docked in launch base
She's
7.
pretty bad at
If
picking
we
us
move
up.
now,
Yeah.
we can make
Rest in peace, Echo 419. Coming up is the most important trick in the game, and also one of the last tricks in the game. It's both for swag and there's an actual reason for it as well. This is the 360.
The 360 swag.
Chief, up ahead there's a gap in the train.
Let's see if I can
At
get
top
it.
speed, we should be able to clear it.
Looking okay. Yeah, that's good enough. 350 swag. But yeah, if you just drive off straight there, the Warthog tends to just nosedive and crush you. So doing a 360 levels it up and makes it a bit safer.
That's the ship. Move, we need to get aboard
And
now.
this is the last boss of the game, the barrels. I got through pretty fast, so about to end the game right now.
Yay!
Yay! 1:17:51, that's actually